Good afternoon, students. In morning class, we have studied the medium transmission line performance by using nominal pi method. Before that, we have also studied nominal T method. In nominal T method, the impedance is placed at 50%. Z by 2, it is placed both half of the sending end side and receiving end side, and capacitance is placed at the mid line or center of the transmission line at one point. In a nominal pi method, we are placing the capacitance more than one point, that is 50% of capacitance is placed nearer to receiving end side and 50% of the capacitance is placed nearer to sending end side with both lumped conditions, and transmission line impedance is taken as it is. There is nothing change in the impedance. Z equal to R plus Jx of the whole transmission line. But it is observed that the capacitance at the sending end has no effect on the line drop, but however the charging current must be added to the line current in order to obtain the total sending end current. You can observe the equivalent diagram for the nominal pi method. Z be the impedance of the transmission line, that should be per phase values. R be the resistance per phase, and XL be the inductive reactance per phase system. As usual, Vs is sending end voltage per phase and Vr is receiving end voltage per phase. Now IR receiving end current or load current, Is is sending end current. So you can see 50% of the capacitance, where C is the total capacitance of the line, total capacitance of the line per phase. So 50% that value, C by 2 value, which is placed nearer to load side or receiving end side, and 50% of the capacitance, it is placed nearer to sending end side. There is no logic. It looks like a phi. It looks like a phi. So the name is given as nominal pi method. So starting from the calculations as receiving end side, you see there you are knowing the Vr, then you are knowing the power, then it is possible to calculate load current. Step number 1. Step number 2, voltage across the capacitor which is nearer to load side, it is parallel connected, Vr is available. Hence you are knowing the C value, you are knowing the Vr value, go for calculation of IC1. You are knowing IR, you are knowing IC1. By using KCL, you calculate IL, load current. IL equal to vector sum of IR plus IC1. You are knowing the IL, then you go for calculation of impedance drop. We are knowing the resistance value, we are knowing the inductive reactance value, Z we are knowing, IL into Z. Then after that you go for calculation of IC2. You go for calculation of IC2, then IC2 equal to voltage into C by 2. Once you got the IC2, then IL, vector sum of IC2 and IL, it gives IS, sending end current. Vs, sending end voltage, must be given by Vr plus I into Z. After calculation of Vs, you go for IC2 calculation. This is roughly idea you have to generate, try to understand. This only you have to draw the phasor diagram. After that, complex notations, then you apply for problem. You see the vector diagram, it is also same thing what I explained. Here is taken as reference load voltage or receiving end voltage, then IR is lagging by an angle phi r by load side power factor or receiving end power factor. Then you add the drop of impedance drop of the transmission line to the VR, then we are going to get Vs. So that we can add IL into R, resistive drop of the line. Then this line, AB line, is parallel to IR. AB line, it is not parallel to IR, line current IL. Then IL into XL, inductive drop is added, which is perpendicular to that I2 into R. Then we are getting the point O. You join the point, it is not O, it must be C. Okay, we are getting the point C. Join from O to C, that gives sending end voltage, only one step. Then after that you go for current. IR you have drawn, IR which is lagging by phi r with VR voltage. Then once you are knowing IR, you calculate IC1. IC1 by knowing the capacitance value, voltage applied is VR. So you calculate the IC1. After calculation of IC1 and IR, vector sum of these two will give IL current. Once again, IL is vector sum of IR and IC1. So after knowing the IL, already you calculated sending end voltage. This sending end voltage is applied across of capacitance which is nearer to sending end side, that is IC2. IC2 you calculate because you are knowing the voltage Vs, you are knowing the C value and 50% of C, so it is possible to calculate IC2. After knowing load current and IC2 current, vector sum of this will provide IS, and angle between Vs and IS is sending end power factor. This only you do in the calculation or explanation. You understand from the diagram or vector diagram, try to remember anyway, practice. So let IR be the load current per phase, R and XL usual values, C is the capacitance per phase, and cos phi r receiving end power factor, Vs sending end voltage per phase. Taking the receiving end voltage as a reference vector, then we have to write VR, this is receiving end voltage per phase, VR equal to VR plus J0. Then load current, you calculate load current from the expression, three-phase power expression, power equal to 3 times of VI cos pi. So that load current already we practiced. Then in complex form, IR into cos phi r minus of J sin phi r. Then charging current at the load end, 50% of capacitance we have to take. Hence IC1 equal to J omega C by 2 into VR. The capacitance and load are in parallel, therefore VR is applied across the Ci2, that is which is nearer to load side. Hence IC1 is available. IR already we are having. Vector sum of these two will give IL, load current. Sir, once you are knowing the load current, then very easily you go for sending end voltage. Sending end voltage VR equal to, Vs equal to VR plus IL into Z, where Z is the impedance. It includes resistance and inductive reactance per phase of a given line. Once you are knowing the Vs, then you go for calculation of IC2, which is capacitor placed nearer to sending end side. Voltage applied across is Vs. Therefore, it becomes J omega C by 2 into Vs. Once the IC2 comes, then vector sum of IL and IC2 gives sending end current, sir. Then you understand only one problem. Vector diagram and equivalent circuit you understood, that is more than sufficient. One or two problems you practice. A 100 km long 3-phase 50 Hz transmission line has the following line constants. Resistance per phase per kilometer equal to 0.1 ohm. Reactance per phase per kilometer equal to 0.5 ohms. Susceptance per phase per kilometer equal to 10 into 10 to the power of minus 6 Siemens. If the line supplies load of 20 megawatt at 0.9 power factor lagging at 66 kV at the receiving end, calculate by nominal pi method sending end power factor, regulation and transmission efficiency. So you write down the all datas. These are given, the parameters are given, distributed parameters. Length of the transmission line is given. We have to calculate lumped situation. So resistance per phase equal to 0.1, this is per kilometer, into 100 length of the transmission line, we are getting 10 ohms. Similarly, total reactance per phase 0.5 into 100, 50 ohms. Susceptance per phase 10 to the power of 10 into 10 to the power of minus 6 into 100. So it becomes 10 into 10 to the power of minus 4 Siemens. So always in the problem given voltages are line voltages. First step, always given voltage is line voltage. Then you calculate voltage per phase VR equal to 38,105 volts. Given transmission line is 3-phase transmission line. By using 3-phase power relation, power equal to 3 times of V I cos pi. Only be careful, power should be in watts and voltage should be phase voltage. You supply this one, by applying this formula, load current becomes 195 ampere. Load power factor is given, cos phi r 0.9, then you calculate sin phi r. Taking the receiving end voltage as the reference, we have VR equal to VR plus J0, because it is a reference vector. Already you calculated load current, apply in complex terms. So IR equal to cos phi r minus of J sin phi r, you are getting 176 minus J 66. Then charging current at the receiving end side, voltage across this capacitor is VR. It is placed very nearer to the load side. That voltage is applied VR. Therefore, IC1 equal to VR plus JY2. Then you calculate. IC1. It becomes J19. After knowing the IC1, you calculate line current. Line current equal to IR into IC1, vector sum. Once you know the load line current, then come for sending end voltage. Sending end voltage Vs equal to VR into IL into impedance of the line. So we are going to get as 43,165 plus J8140. So it equals to 43,925 magnitude with an angle 10.65. So this angle is leading with respect to VR. Then sending end line voltage, if you want, you calculate the sending end line voltage. So after calculation of Vs, then it is very easy to calculate IC2. The one of the capacitance placed nearer to sending end voltage. Once you are knowing the sending end voltage, because this voltage is applied across sending end side capacitor, that capacitor value is 50%. So IC2 equal to Vs into Jy by 2. You calculate, you are getting this value minus 4 plus J 21.6. So in previous slide also there is a small mistake. IC1 equal to voltage into this susceptance Vs into Jy by 2. And similarly IC1 equal to Vr into Jy by 2. I have taken plus. You make the correction, that one. Okay, all of you. After knowing the IC2, come for sending end current. Is equal to IL plus IC2 vector sum. So we are getting the sending end with magnitude of 177.6 minus 14.5. This means Is lags by Vr 14.5. Then you draw as per polar form results you are getting. You draw and how to calculate the phase angle of sending side power factor cos phi s. Phi s I need. After phi s, power factor comes sending end. So you observe very cleanly, theta 1 is angle between Vr and Vs. Theta 1 is angle between Vr and Vs in the calculations that already told 10.65 leading, and theta 2 angle between Vr and Is, that is minus 14.5. So here try to understand, we should not concentrate on whether it is plus value, whether it is minus value. That should be to understanding of this vector diagram, which angle is leading, which vector is lagging. But while calculating the angle from Vs to Is, I have to take both are positive value. I need the angle only, hence you don't consider minus of that. Angle I want phi s from Vs to Is. You see there from vector diagram it clearly shows we have to consider only theta 1, theta 2 irrespective of negative value. So the angle becomes 10.65, 14.5, we are getting 21.15. Sir. So after knowing the Vs and Vr, it is very easy. What is asked for problem? Voltage regulation, that should be equal to Vs minus Vr divided by Vr into 100, all with respect to phase values. Substitute, you are going to get as 15.27. Then sending end power factor, sending end power, it is also a small mistake. You make their sending end power. This should be equal to 3 times Vs Is into cos pi s. You are knowing Vs Is cos pi s. Substitute. Power delivered, power rating of transmission line, it is given in megawatt. So you keep this also in megawatt. 21.18 into 10 to the power of 6 watts we are getting. You convert 21.18 megawatt. Then finally transmission efficiency, that is sending end power, not the sending end power, receiving end power divided by sending end power. Receiving end power is 20 megawatt, sending end power is 21.18, 94%. Morning this part only we left. So try to understand, practice all of you. Thank you, sirs.